See this athleticism on the team?
Well, it means the few areas that we were weak at last year in terms of, creating turnovers and getting easy baskets and, transition defense, areas that we should be strong in this year. Well, a little bit, yeah. I mean, it's those injuries you want to try to knock out as quickly as you can. He's been a trooper and he's been trying to get out on the floor and practice with the guys as much as he possibly can. At the same time, you want to see him, especially now, your season is right around the corner, try to knock out as much of it as he possibly can going into game one.
For you in particular, over the years I've covered you at least, 100% isn't necessarily something you need to be to play. You play through injuries. So with this, what you're going through now, is that the same type of situation? Or?
No, I mean, it's a little different in the sense that, injuries to your lower extremities can always lead to something else. So it's not about being 100% necessarily, but it's about, making sure you're running with the proper gait and you're not putting, stress in other areas that could then cause problems down the road.
What you did in China, the running on the court that we saw, do you feel like that was encouraging?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I was cranking it up, the entire time I was in China. I've scaled back since just to let it, heal up a little bit more and, get a little bit more flexibility to it. But it feels good just to run and break a sweat by running.
Are you enjoying all the speculation, or do you not like people trying to figure out when you will come back?
No, I try not to pay attention to it too much. It's because it can get to you a little bit. It'll make you a little impatient. Especially when you hear the doubt and. Will I be able to come back? Well, it's not even will I be able to come back and play well. It's more like I won't be able to come back and play well. And when you hear those things, you want to push and come back and play right away to shut a lot of people up. You have to be patient. You have to rest and relax and come back when you're ready.
You have to fight not coming back too soon when you hear that.
Absolutely, because it's a challenge that's right in front of your face. You have to really restrain yourself to not get out there.
Speaking of, did that have to do with the ESPN and media rankings?
No, it's my pet's birthday.
People are also talking about, is it giving you more motivation? And a lot of the fans are saying you don't need any more motivation. What does it mean to you?
No, I certainly don't. The motivation's always been there for me because it's always come from inside of me. The motivation, kind of like the external stuff is kind of like the cherry on top of the cake. You know what I mean? I think the way I looked at it was pretty silly to me. 25 was pretty silly, it was pretty laughable. But still in all, I mean, it's a challenge that I willingly accept.
Kobe, it's one thing for the media, but the GM poll also voted you second behind James Harden as far as shooting guard. What do you make of that?
Well, I think they're counting on me being on one leg. I think that's where the votes come from. I think they all don't think I can come back from this injury.
And you were mentioning about just kind of one of the keys during your recovery is just kind of having that patience. What's been kind of your approach with that? And just obviously you want to push as much as you can, but not going overboard with it.
Just trying to be calm. Just trying to be calm. And, trying to be, approaching it as the rest, the therapy. It's all a part of training. A lot of times we think of training, we think of weights, we think of running, that sort of thing. And if I only looked at it from that standpoint, I'd drive myself crazy. So I try to think of it as this part of the process is part of training as well. This is going to enable me to come back and be as close as 100% as I can.
Is it thinking more about doing it the right way so I can have 3 or 4 more years?
No. I'm thinking about this year. Okay. And obviously, we all want to be healthy for years down the road, but it's not something that I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about getting as healthy as I can as quickly as possible to come back and try to help us make some noise.
Dramas last year?
No, it's just really in how how the pieces come together. I mean, it's really about that chemistry more so than anything else, and having great communication with each other and understanding the strengths and weaknesses of each other. Chemistry is always the biggest thing. It's always the most important thing. If the chemistry's not there, no matter how much talent you have, it's going to be a struggle.
Why do you think that was such a challenge last year? With getting chemistry that you guys did?
Well, I mean, we saw different ways of going about leading this team. Dwight wanted to do it one way, which he felt felt like it was effective. I wanted to do it another way. And so it was just constant tension. In the second half of the season, everything was able to fall in line. And, we wound up making a pretty good run at it. And, I think Powell stepping in and taking a significant load of the offensive responsibility was a big thing for us as well. We wound up getting Dwight a lot of easy ones, and Powell got a lot of easy baskets for everybody else, and things just kind of fell in place, and we were able to get into the playoffs.
Speaking of chemistry, Gary.
Yeah, it's a good group though. It really is a good group. We got good guys. Guys get along with each other. But at the same time challenge each other. So it's a good mix. Hey, very well. From being 5 games out of the playoffs in the Western Conference and making that run, I think we lost 7 games second half of the season. It's not a bad record at all. It's one of the top records in the league. So, second half of the season worked just fine.
Wrap it up, guys.
Basketball activities wise, you trying to do any one-on-ones on your own time, or?
No. I want to, but I'm being steady.
And how difficult is it mentally, knowing that you want to, and physically, you also knowing that you need to?
It's tough. It's tough. Especially when you got writers like Dave McMenamin that think the 25 ranking is a fair one. Then it becomes pretty interesting.